But here's the thing. How long are we going to sit waiting till we accept what he's already given us?
That's the problem.
And no, this is where these young ones coming in are showing us. And if we as mature people will grab onto their zeal, we have the wisdom of God. We do have it. And he is giving us that charge of their lives, or they wouldn't be drawn to us. But where we're still trying to get all of Leviathan out of ourselves. And the answer is to be running with them, because our wisdom helps cover them and keep them from stepping out of place in too much zeal too fast. But they, in their zeal, keep us moving. Or we will sit in our wisdom and we'll sit in this intimate place too long. And we lose our freshness. That's how the old prophet became an old prophet back in the Old Testament there, that stopped the young man who came with righteousness.
I have a perfect example of that, and God showed me this yesterday, right in the midst of it, because I wanted, for a long time now, I've wanted to get my iPod, switched around to get rid of some of the music I didn't want in there anymore and new in. And here a while back, I had done that, and everything just kind of fell into place. So I don't know why this particular time I could get it on my phone, but it would not go into my iPod from my computer then. I purchased like 4 songs yesterday morning. I mean, we're talking early yesterday morning. Then I was planning we were going to do other things in the rest of the day. 2:30, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I am still, I was determined I was going to get that figured out. Could not get it figured out. The kids just showed up on our doorstep. They like to use our Wi-Fi. So they just came over, no announcement or anything, and that was fine. And I'm still sitting there trying to get this to work, and I make some comment about I don't understand why I can't get this. Trinity takes my computer, and in less than 15 minutes, what I had been striving for probably 6 hours or maybe even 7 hours, she did it in 15 minutes.
Yep, amen.
Less than that if she hadn't done any explaining.
And I'm just sitting there with my mouth open. I'm like, what the heck? And it was like later on, God just showed me, as long as you're going to stay in that place where you're going to be trying to do the things that this next generation, there's several different lessons to be learned in this. If you're going to be in that place of striving, in those things that we're supposed to be passing off to this next generation or raising them up into this next generation, we're just gonna be beating our heads against the wall, and we're going to be constantly just, in this place of frustration. And I thought, wow, that was just.
They're definitely way light years ahead of us.
Well, here's the thing. And this kind of comes along with that double-mindedness. Okay, so are we going to use our mind that God gave us to, come up with the answer, listen to maybe what he might be trying to tell us? Because I should have known that she could have done that. And she only lives 2 blocks away. Yeah. Why did I not think about, instead of sitting there for 7 hours trying to figure it out, why did I just not stop and think about it or pray about it, and God would have given me the answer. Hey, Trinity's just down the road. She could probably get this figured out for you in 15 minutes. But
there's
You can call me if you want.
but there's a certain amount of pride that we're carrying that we think we have to be the ones that figure it out. We need to ourselves and say, hey, maybe this kid who is getting all this techno stuff so early in they're teaching stuff, maybe they can pick this up real quick.
In this particular case, I think it was just a matter of I was just so wrapped up into the frustration of it. Yeah, there's other things that, yes, I think pride might enter into it for me personally, but in this particular case, it was just the fact that I did it once. Why can't I do it this time? I kept trying to find the answer. Right. And the answer just wasn't there. God was just trying to show me a lesson. Right. And it took my whole day out.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I should have known it because it was just the night before. I told Virgil, I said, there is a serious problem here because I'm walking out of the living room, or I'm walking from the sunroom out of the living room into to the kitchen area, and I told him, I said, out of the corner of my eye, I could see that the coffee table was off 1.5 inches, according to the boards.
I hate when that happens. I know.
And I had to turn around and fix it.
Those distractions.
You know, it's like, talk about striving. That is just complete, that's just, there's a pride issue. You know, when you think you got to have everything.
You don't realize it.
You know, that's just it. It's part of those things that we take on at whatever point in our life that we think are so important that really, whether my coffee table was 1.5 feet or 1.5 inches or whatever, it's not an eternal thing. You know, it's not going to make a difference about anything. And that's the, we think, oh, well, we're not double-minded. You know, I'm not double-minded, but when you really think about it, if you're letting things like that rule you, then you're being double-minded. You're just being double-minded.
Yes.
So.
So the greater thing in that, Marty, is the fact that God wanted you to connect with the next generation in that. And besides of what you learned in the midst of that. But see, as a ministry, that's where God has us, that we've got to understand how we are so connected to them, and they really have got to understand how connected they are to us. We've been in this generational thing now for a lot of years, but it's coming down where the rubber's meeting the road, and we really need each other. And I look at that, yeah, it worked for you in the past, but now, Marty, God's taking you into something different and something much deeper, and the lesson that you need to learn in the midst of that, of how much we are so dependent on one another, and how we raise them up in our wisdom, but they also have a lot of know-how that is really moving into where God's taking us. And so
don't you think it's just odd that you were messing around all day, spending your day like this, and all of a sudden, just by chance, they show up for your free Wi-Fi?
I know.
Isn't that just by chance? Don't you think maybe God was seeing, hey, it's about time to show her something here, you know? So isn't that the thing, though? I mean, God was aware of the whole thing, and he brought the thing around to make it happen, and now it's a lesson for you to learn. So it's like, yeah, everything's...
It's not just in that, okay? Because here's my lesson this week. So I'm trying to make these flag banners. And there was a little niggling feeling already that I need to be talking with Chris about this. But I didn't. I went online and I spent several hours watching videos on how to embroider these letters onto this fabric. So I did learn some things. That was okay. But I'm still trying to do all that work myself. Instead of sharing the fabric and the vision and all the other, and saying, Chris, would you get involved in this with me? This crafting stuff is her expertise, not mine. But I like to do it, and I can do it, but why am I thinking I have to make all these banners? See, it's even looking at one another and seeing the gifting in one another, the areas of expertise and stuff, and really leaning into that. And between the two of us, maybe we aren't even the ones to do it. But between the two of us, we have a skill set, we have an interest that we're actually going to be seeing some of these young people who need to be drawn into that and be a part of it. Because that's the other niggling feeling. Should this thing even be a craft where we get the little kids involved? Now, you have to know, to me, I equate it with making Christmas cookies with kids. Because, it's that place. But will they not worship with a different mindset if they're involved in this?
isn't it skills that need to be passed on?
Skills that need to be passed on and things that we can teach them. So maybe the ones we're going to make right now, they won't go out for anybody to buy. You know, no one would ever want to have them. But what if I change my mindset and don't want the pretty that we see everywhere else, but we would make flags with just some glue and other stuff instead of sewing them and all the other. That's where my mindset had to shift by last night. I've got to lay the whole project back down again because I'm not consulting here. And I'm not bringing that next generation in. And so what if we start them making banners now that are according to their skill set now, getting the posts about, you know, from people now, the young people at the base saying, Judy, I'm looking for such and such. Do you know? Well, yeah, you need such and such a study book. That's what you need. That'll really vamp your study tools and stuff. So all of you, you have stuff in you. We need to be passing that on. How is that passed on? In relationship. Not doing it ourselves. And that's where they get frustrated with us, because we think we still have to protect them. We still have to provide for them. There's a little bit of it, you guys. They want a little bit of a struggle to learn these things. They haven't learned how to do it very well. But even in that, then, we can show them the patience that it takes to build a skill set, the time that it takes to build a skill set, instead of thinking it's just going to happen right now. But on the other hand, we like that they can fix the things right now. Yeah. Right. See, that's the thing. That's where the pride and the independence comes in. Because we don't want to humble ourselves and have to go through that endurance process again with them. That's what the impatience comes because we have a certain ability to just do it fluidly, and we don't want to go back and walk somebody through that process of, here's the picture, the vision, here's the supplies, here's what we want the end result to be, and we want to go back in and fix it even if it's not perfect.
The thing is, what we pass along, we have to be patient with them, and that can be a struggle, but we have to realize somebody was patient with us when we learned, you know. Exactly. So it's like, the patience is learned all the way around. It's like,
well, that's
it's to our own benefit.
Even on Friday, Angie Himmel looked at kids, and I was trying to help her make some Christmas presents. And we had just put their handprints on this little tree for her father, and Angie and I was doing something else, had our backs turned, little bigger, decided he put his hands in it, he spit all over. And Angie just about lost it there. I said, no, look, all you have to do is paint over a little bit. As I was brushing them off, I said, and even though it shows a little bit, you have a story right there.
There you do.
And she goes, okay.
Yes.
But she had kind of a bad day with her beforehand. I mean, no, you have to yell at him. It's like, no, don't do that. But, so it was kind of fun.
I just want